the line at the Bristol Dragway stretched for miles this morning. The Sullivan County health officials expanded the eligibility for vaccine distribution. News 5's Christy Calcagno joins us live just outside the Bristol Dragway with more on this. Christy.
Yeah, hey there, PJ. The Sullivan County Health Department reopened the mass clinic here at the Bristol Dragway, and that line was long. In fact, it was about 3 miles or so. It's one of the longest lines that we've seen since the distribution site opened, and that's because eligibility has now been expanded. So those who qualify are in Phase 1B. That includes people who are 65 and older, educators, child care workers, and those who work with first responder agencies.
I think for the most part, people are highly interested in, being vaccinated and, really appreciate the efforts that the staff is putting forth to get that vaccine in arms.
Now, the vaccine clinic did open between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. today, but there are some people you could still see behind me, cars that are still getting the vaccine. That's because they were able to get into the dragway before the gates are closed. Now, health officials say that once all of them are vaccinated, they will be closed for the day, but they will reopen tomorrow. Coming up later on News 5 at 6, we'll be hearing from some patients who spent overnight in that long line just to get their vaccination. Reporting live in Bristol, Tennessee, I'm Christy Calcagno, News 5 WCYB.
Along the path forward from the pandemic, the Sullivan County Health Department expanding COVID-19 vaccination availability to those 65 and older. Today, the lines at Bristol Dragway expanded for miles. News 5's Christy Calcagno was out there all day in the cold and was talking to patients waiting for hours just to get their dose. Christy?
Yeah, that's right, PJ. We were here as early as 6 a.m. today talking to some patients who were camped out overnight just to make sure that they were able to receive their vaccine today. Now, they told us it's because they weren't sure exactly how many vaccines were going to be available. The line this morning stretched for at least 3 miles long. Now, those 65 and older, plus child care workers, educators, and those assisting frontline workers were eligible today. Emergency Response Coordinator Mark Moody says that they give out roughly 750 to 900 first doses at the Dragway, making it a steady but long process. Now, coming up later on News 5 at 6, we'll be hearing from some patients on exactly how long they had to wait, and also from one couple who told me that they were even turned away because of the limited number of vaccines. Reporting live here in Bristol, Tennessee, I'm Christy Calcagno, News 5 WCYB.
The line outside Bristol Dragway stretched for miles this morning as people waited to get their chance for a COVID-19 vaccine. This as Sullivan County Health Department expanded its vaccine availability to people ages 65 and up. News 5's Christy Calcagno joins us now live from the Dragway. So, Christy, how long were people willing to wait for this?
Well, PJ, they're willing to camp out overnight if necessary. By the time the gates opened here at the Bristol Dragway at 9 a.m., there was a line of vehicles on Highway 394 that stretched for at least 3 miles. And some people I spoke to today said this isn't the first time they tried to get their shot here. The line stretched for miles Tuesday outside the BMS mass vaccination clinic.
If you could hold up that sleeve for me.
But it was worth the wait.
It was just our duty. We wanted it. And for our protection and your protection.
People like Leslie and Jeff Taylor waited 5.5 hours to get their vaccine.
6 a.m., yes, ma'am.
And we were not in the front.
Meanwhile, Shirley Hutchins stayed overnight just to be one of the first in line.
We did that because there's so many people coming that need the shot. And we wanted to make sure we get it because we know that they have a limited number.
That limited supply is something the Taylors know all too well.
This is actually our 3rd time in line.
Yeah.
The first time they closed the gate when we got there. So we came back twice for the first shot. Yeah, it's a long line.
If you line up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I don't open the gates till 8:30, that wait is kind of on them or part of their issue. We try to maintain a pretty healthy throughput Once you get on the racetrack property, it's probably about a 3 to 4 hour throughput then.
Emergency Response Coordinator Mark Moody tells me that the number of first doses available are limited to how much vaccines they receive.
It varies between 750 to 900 first doses and 750 to 900 second doses. You know, it depends upon how many first doses we gave that day will drive the second dose day.
Now, they have extended eligibility here at the Bristol Dragway. They are vaccinating in Phase 1B, which includes anybody 65 years or older, as well as child care workers, educators, and those who are assisting our frontline workers. Now, the clinic is currently closed, but they will be open tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Bristol, Tennessee, I'm Christy Calcagno, News 5 WCYB.